Have you ever found yourself wondering why someone might pull away right at the moment things are getting close? Or, hey, maybe you felt it yourself, this deep, genuine desire for connection, but it's fighting against an equally powerful, almost magnetic urge to just create distance. Well, here's the thing. This isn't really about a lack of love or interest. It's about our neurobiology. So together, we're going to explore the brain's deeply ingrained protective retreat from intimacy. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack what I'm calling the closeness conundrum. Then, we're going to look at how the brain actually learns to protect itself in the first place. From there, we'll zoom right into the anatomy of a threat response, uncover the really surprising way the love hormone oxytocin can backfire, and then finally, we'll connect all this science back to the real-world behaviors we see every day. Okay, first up, the closeness conundrum. This really is the heart of the matter, you know? It's that baffling internal tug-of-war between wanting connection on one hand and then this almost uncontrollable instinct to push it away on the other. It's such a fascinating question, isn't it? I mean, why would the very thing that so many of us crave, intimacy, real connection, why would that register in someone's brain as a danger signal? Well, the answer really lies in how our nervous system learned to define what's safe and what isn't. And this is absolutely the key. We are not talking about a logical, conscious choice to reject somebody. This is a physiological response. It's totally automatic. It's just how the body and mind react when intimacy crosses a certain line, when it starts to feel a little too intense, too demanding, or just way too exposing. So what does this actually feel like in the moment? Well, it's usually not some big dramatic fear. It's often much more subtle. It might show up as this vague sense of discomfort, or feeling really restless and agitated for no clear reason. Or it could be a sudden, totally overwhelming need to just get some space, right now. To really get why this happens, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. We need to see how our brain's whole architecture for relationships gets built, brick by brick, right from our earliest experiences. And the framework that helps us understand all of this is called attachment theory. The core idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so profound. Our very first relationships, usually with our parents or caregivers, literally create a blueprint, a mental model that our brain then uses to navigate every single relationship for the rest of our lives. And this timeline just leads it all out so clearly. During infancy, the limbic system, which is our brain's emotional hub, is physically wired by our interactions with caregivers. So then, if during childhood our needs were met inconsistently, or maybe they were dismissed, the brain learns a really powerful lesson. Depending on other people is dangerous. By the time we reach adulthood, that lesson is a hardwired survival strategy. The neural pathways that scream, rely on yourself, are super strong, while the ones for connection get suppressed. Okay, now let's zoom in. Let's look at the exact moment this wiring gets activated. What is happening millisecond by millisecond inside the brain when closeness gets flagged as a threat? I want you to meet the amygdala. The best way to think about it is as the brain's super-sensitive, fast-acting smoke detector. It's not logical at all. Its only job is to scan for anything that even vaguely smells like a threat from the past. And when it gets a match, it yanks the fire alarm instantly. And how fast are we talking? Get this, the amygdala can spot a potential threat and trigger a full-body response in about 75 milliseconds. That is literally faster than you can blink. It's way, way faster than our conscious, thinking brain can even realize what's happening. So this creates a lightning-fast chain reaction. First, you have the trigger, a moment of closeness. Then the amygdala, using that old blueprint, fires off, screaming, danger. Now, the prefrontal cortex, the brain's rational control tower, tries to calm things down, but it gets overwhelmed. This failure triggers a massive flood of the stress hormone cortisol, putting the whole body on high alert. And the only way the brain knows how to stop that flood, the final step, withdraw, pull away. So here you can really see the difference. In a brain with a secure attachment blueprint, the prefrontal cortex, the PFC, is in the driver's seat. It can soothe the amygdala's alarm and send the message, hey, it's okay, this is safe, you can connect. But in an avoidant response, the amygdala basically hijacks the entire system. It completely overrides the PFC, and the only message that gets through is threat, retreat now. All right, now for a really fascinating twist in the story. We all think of oxytocin as the cuddle chemical, right? The ultimate bonding hormone. But what if, for some brains, the very hormone that's supposed to create connection actually does the opposite? What if it pushes people away?
So yeah, let's just be clear on its day job. Oxytocin is famous for being the bonding hormone. Under typical circumstances, when it's released, it makes us feel more trusting, more connected, more empathetic. It's basically the neurochemical glue that holds our relationships together.
But here's the paradox. It turns out that the effect of oxytocin completely depends on your brain's attachment blueprint. For someone with a secure background, it does its job perfectly. It enhances those feelings of trust and closeness. But for someone with an avoidant style, that exact same chemical does the opposite. It can actually spike their anxiety and make that urge to withdraw even stronger. So why this complete neurobiological clash? Well, for a brain that has learned that extreme self-reliance is the only way to survive, the bonding signal from oxytocin doesn't register as safety. It registers as the first step towards losing your autonomy, which, based on its past programming, is a direct threat to survival. The very chemical meant to bring you closer is what triggers the retreat alarm. Okay, let's bring all of this together now. How does this complex dance of brain regions and neurochemicals actually translate into the behaviors that we can see and experience in our relationships? Well, this is what it looks like from the outside. The person might appear completely calm, totally composed, even while their internal system is just flooded with stress hormones. They're the ones who will insist, "I'm fine," while you can feel them emotionally checking out. This is where we see that stubborn self-reliance, that deep, deep discomfort with depending on anyone for anything. And of course, that classic emotional or physical withdrawal as soon as things feel too close. And this brings us right back to the most important takeaway of this whole thing. If you remember just one thing, let it be this. Avoidant behavior is almost never about a lack of interest or not caring. It's a deeply programmed survival strategy. It's an automatic physiological response from a nervous system that learned a long, long time ago that getting too close is dangerous. So, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. If we truly understand this response as a biological survival strategy, not a conscious personal choice, how does that shift the way we see this behavior, both in other people and maybe, just maybe, in ourselves? It has the power to move us from judgment to curiosity, and from a place of frustration to one of empathy.